Hey guys, welcome back to another Friday Reads. This week we're going to be going over my September TBR. Yes, I have decided to do these monthly along with monthly wrap-ups because I want these videos to be much shorter than they have been. I prefer watching videos like under 15 minutes, and a lot of my videos are well over the 20-minute mark. So if I personally, as like a YouTube viewer, don't enjoy sit-down videos like this, of course, that are that long, then why am I making them? So I'm going to try my best to not ramble on too much in this video, and let's jump in with the books that I am currently in the middle of. So I am still reading Up to I Do by Samantha March. I really enjoy watching her YouTube videos, and she's also an author and a book blogger. I'm struggling to get invested in this book because the characters are not that likable and I don't relate to them in any way except that they're planning a wedding, as am I. But I need to finish it this month or else I'm probably never going to. And I need to kind of stop trying to relate to the characters and just focus on the writing of the book in order to review it, because Samantha March herself says that the characters aren't likable, and that's on purpose. So I don't want to rate a book poorly based on not liking the characters when in fact the writing is good. I don't think that's fair to the author, but I need to get into that headspace. The second book I'm currently in the middle of, whoops, I just knocked over my pile, is Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I actually just got this back from the library. I tried to finish this for the Astronomy Owl last month in August, and I got halfway through, like pretty much exactly, and it was due back at the library, and there was one person waiting for it, but my library has 2 copies, so I returned it and was really sad about it, and I put it on hold again, and the day after it was there for me again. I guess I didn't want to ship it around the province. Anyways, you don't really care about that, but I was just really happy to get it back, but it just wasn't in time to complete the Owl. So I need to finish this month. This is a YA sci-fi novel set in space, as I think stereotypically sci-fis are. And I was really enjoying this, and I've heard the audiobook for this is amazing. It's like listening to a movie. There's sound effects and music and a full cast. And so I put the audiobook on hold through my library too. If I finish what I'm currently reading, I'll talk about that next, besides Up to I Do. And I don't get the audiobook in time, excuse me, I'll just continue reading it physically. But I do want to try out the audiobook, and maybe when I continue on with the series, I'll try out the audiobooks. But I've really been liking this book, and I like that it is told in mixed media. It's kind of like this is a big case file set like after this book is even taking place, even though this is taking place like what, 500 years from now. And it took me probably about 100 pages to get used to that, because it's very strange to consume a story in that way. But now that I'm used to it, I'm loving it. A book that I started yesterday is The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. I'm reading this along with Books with Chloe, who's doing a Gentleman's Guide read along, and I'm super excited about it. And I also put on hold because I've heard the audiobook for this book is amazing as well. I forget who the narrator is, I forget his name, but I think he was Tom Riddle in Harry Potter. Is that right? Or am I completely making that up? And I've been really enjoying it. It's actually my very first audiobook ever, and I still prefer reading a book like physically, but because, you know, I'm busy, everyone's busy, but I'm a stay-at-home mom, and when the baby's napping, I feel guilty just sitting and reading, even though that's kind of what I really want to do. But with an audiobook, I can still be reading and cleaning the bathroom or doing the dishes or cooking supper, whatever it is. And I started doing that yesterday, and I have been loving it. And I also listened to it and like read along in bed last night right before going to sleep, and I've really been enjoying it. I need to figure out how to up the speed though, because I found it kind of slow going listening and like reading along in the book in bed, and realized that maybe if I could speed it up a little bit, I would find that a little bit easier. So those are the 3 books that I'm currently in the middle of. I typically like to keep it to 2, but because with Illuminate it was due back at the library, I picked something else up because I didn't realize that I would get it back so soon. The next book on my September TBR is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. I'm still waiting for this through my library. If you haven't noticed, I get almost all of my books from the library. Katrina from Little Book Owl is hosting 2 read-alongs this month for 2 different series. The first, I guess technically the second of which, but the one I'm going to talk about first is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. And this is a fantasy novel following Laszlo Strange, is that his name? And he is studying about a city that has like completely fallen out of everyone's memories called the City of Weep. And I don't know much more than that, and that's how I want it to stay, but I'm really excited to be joining in on so many read-alongs this month. There's a lot, I think 4. I'm participating in 4 read-alongs this month, which is crazy considering I'm a month away from my wedding, but it's all from my favorite booktubers, and they're all books I wanted to read anyways, so I think it's fun to be kind of like in a book club together because there's live shows and you can join in on the discussion and stuff. I'm just really excited about it. Since we are talking about Katrina from Little Book Owl, this is the second read-along that I'm participating in this month, and this is for Nevernight, and then we're reading God's Grave, and I forgot to mention after Strange the Dreamer in October we're reading Muse of Nightmares. But this is Nevernight. We're following the main character who is going to school to learn how to be an assassin, which I've never read a book like that before, and I am so excited for it. Almost both Katrina and Brittany from Brittany Nicole or Brittany the Bibliophile, I forget what her actual like screen name is. Nevernight is one of their all-time favorite series, and I'm so excited to get into this. I can't believe it's taken me this long to pick it up. I'm excited to be joining in on this read-along as well. Okay, so yet again we have a little helper here who just woke up from his nap. Can't really see. Say hi, guys. But I only have 2 more books to talk about, so I'm really sorry if this bothers you, but I'm a mom and it is what it is. So like I said, I only have 2 more books to talk about. I'll talk about the last read-along that I'm participating in, and I need to hurry because my battery's low too. So this is A Gathering of Shadows. This is the second book in the Shades of Magic trilogy by V.E. Schwab, and I'm super excited to get to this because I loved A Darker Shade of Magic. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and Common Spence is hosting a 3-month-long read-along for the trilogy, and September we are reading the second book, and I'm excited to see where this goes. In the first book we're following 2 main characters. One is a magician, his name is Kel, and he can travel between 4 parallel Londons, and the second is Lila, who is a thief who wants nothing more than to be a pirate, and there's, you know, magic and fighting and all that good stuff that you love in fantasy. And that is an adult fantasy novel, if I didn't mention that before, and I'm really excited to read it, as I keep mentioning. Lastly, I have Save the Date by Morgan Matson. Again, a wedding book because my wedding is coming up, and I've had this book on hold for the last 3 months. There's such a long waiting list for it because it's a brand new release this year. I did read 2 other Morgan Matson books this summer and really did enjoy them. This one seems like it's a little bit smaller than the other 2 that I read, which is good because I need some smaller books to read this month as well. I mean, it's still pretty big, but it's smaller than a lot of the other ones that I have in the stack. So those are the 7 books I plan on reading this month. Let me know in the comments down below what you plan on reading this month, and if you're participating in any of these same read-alongs like me, I would love to know. Yeah, we'll put it on after he has the lens cap. Please do give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!